Hey guys, Big Kev here, coming at you with another video. And today I thought I'd make a video about gear slots and cost allotment. So, you guys all know that you have gear slots that you can equip gear into, okay? Every time you level up, you get a total of 2 costs. Costs that you can put into either your weapon slot, your helm cost, your armor cost, and monster cost. Now, obviously, this is going to differ between classes. It's not always, some people want to go for more tanky builds, like if you're a cleric, you want to be a little more tanky than, the rest of the classes. This way you can stay alive longer and heal your team. If you're a mage like me, you want to go DPS all the way for sure. Soldier is more revolved around kind of like a balance of the two. You kind of want to have more, a little more defense than you do attack, but soldier is kind of even when it comes to the defense and damage. And as a lancer, you want to have a little more DPS. And I know some lancers, they have higher magic defense. Some of them don't. And then archer is just kind of the same as lancer, just kind of like a little more tanky than damage. So some people mess up in the beginning of their Unison League careers, and they tend to put cost into different types of in the wrong thing. Basically, I did the same thing. Basically, how you want to have it in the end game is you want to have 6 weapons, 4 pieces of headgear, 4 pieces of armor, and 6 monsters. I actually messed up, so I'm a perfect example of what you should not do. You should not put more cost into your armor. That's what I did, and I wound up having to spend 30 or 40 gems actually rearranging cost and putting more cost into my weapon slot and my monster slot, so I was able to equip more of those two things. My damage wasn't that high, and I was constantly asking myself, why is my damage so low? And I was actually able to get help from Reddit. By the way, guys, if you ever want good information, definitely go to Reddit. I recommend it highly. Everybody's very friendly on Reddit, and most of them on there, they know what they're talking about, and they will really help you, whether you're a noob or you're advanced and you find yourself needing help. They will help you. So as you can see here, I have 6 staffs equipped, and that's my end game right now. Obviously, some of these are going to be replaced when I get the staffs that I'm actually looking for. I will replace them. But as you can see, I have a lot of utility here. By utility, I mean Fatal Testament and Magic Testament. Now, there's 2 different types. There's Magic Testament XL, which is pretty much the gold standard. This is what most people are going to be having in their builds. Basically, it's going to increase your damage, but if you have a Magic Testament XXL staff or weapon, you're going to do double the amount of damage that a Magic Testament XL staff will do for you. As you can see here, I have a Fatal Testament XXL, which basically, sorry, a tongue-tied today. It increases your physical and magic damage when using an ability. So technically, this would be good. You can equip this onto like an archer, and it would benefit an archer. I mean, you can even equip it onto a soldier or something. Obviously, you wouldn't want to have it in your main slot, and you're gonna sacrifice a little bit of regular attack, but you're gonna also have this skill that'll proc. Now, when this does proc, the hit that it makes when this skill procs is also a critical hit on every enemy. So it's not just a chance to critical hit, it's actually a critical hit every single time. So if I used a Meteor Rain on a group of 3 minions and Fatal Testament XXL kicks in, it's going to critical hit every single enemy every time. That also counts for guild battles as well. I'm sorry, I actually gave a false example there because Meteor Rain actually can't crit. Alright, so for instance, if I use Mind Hack, okay, that's a skill that hits all different enemies, not just one. It's an AoE skill. It's gonna crit. You guys are probably gonna be yelling at me in the comments saying, "Oh, Meteor Rain can't crit. What are you talking about?" I did correct myself. I realized that. I was just trying to give an example. But anyway, moving on. Now, some people like to equip staffs that have the ability Harder the Meteor XL, which will basically increase the damage of Meteor Rain or Meteor Strike if it procs. That's not a bad staff to have also. Some free-to-play players, they're not going to be able to get all Magical Testament staffs. So if that's the case for you, equip what you have. Obviously, weed out the weaker staffs as you get better ones. So, we also have head armor here. Usually, it's good to have magic damage down or physical damage down or magical reflection or physical reflection, stuff like that. There's also gear that has reflection. I forget the name of the actual skill, but it reflects magical damage and physical damage back to the attacker. So those are also good to have. Now, for a mage, obviously, on the bottom of each gear, it's going to show you the defensive numbers. For a mage, obviously, you're going to have more where the wand is. The wand inside of the shield, that's magic defense. Some gear, though, has an even amount of physical or regular defense and magic defense. I recommend trying to equip at least one of those into your setup. It's good to, as a mage, you're going to be squishy. If you are a mage, you're going to be squishy, but every little bit amount of physical defense helps. So that's my philosophy. If you can get at least one piece of armor in there that offers balanced defense, definitely do it. Also, this offers physical damage down XL, which is pretty good, especially for mages. Now, in your monster slot, you guys are probably going to look at my monsters right now and say, "Oh, my monsters suck." Yes, they do. They do suck. I realize that. I have a couple in my locker that I will be equipping soon. I have an Azen, I think his name is Azen or Azian. I have in there. Also have Ares, Kagutsuchi, and that'll do it for that. Currently working on my Cerberus, and next time there is a Valk spawn, I will be going for the Light Valk or the Fire Valk. Either one of those would be great. So, getting back onto topic. In the end, you want to have 6 weapons, 4 each of the helms and the armor, and then 6 monsters. That is pretty much, like I said, the standard for every class. Your attack, you're just going to maximize your attack that way. Your gear score, don't worry if your gear score is not that high. As you start infusing gear and once you have it all ultra rare maxed out, you're going to see your gear score climb. And I mean, that's just pretty much a given. Every time you infuse a piece of gear, it increases the level cap by 10, and you're just going to have more. Your gear score is going to climb and climb and climb. Also, monsters give a really good amount of gear score and attack as well. And that brings me actually to my next point, is when you're equipping a monster, certain monsters are going to give you magic attack, others are not. So, for instance, we got a monster here like Thor. Thor, as you can see, gives me a lot of magic attack. He also gives me physical defense. So this is pretty much pretty much what you want to look for as a mage. You want your monsters to give you attack, magic attack, but also physical defense or magical defense. And we got a monster over here like Pretzel. He gives magic attack, but he also gives physical attack. Now, I'll be subbing out this monster pretty soon because he doesn't offer any kind of buffs or debuffs. There's no utility in him whatsoever. He's just a straight damage. I was actually pretty disappointed because I actually wasted 100 gems to get him during the Black Friday spawns. I was hoping for a Battle Valkyrie, but it really didn't turn out that way. But I kind of just have him here right now, more for PvE. If I'm in, like a event quest, and some of my teammates, they use win monsters, I'll just go ahead and use him just to get the Unison. Lilith is probably my best monster right now. She's a great utility monster, good for guild battles. She offers magical defense and magical attack. And then we have Head Tie over here. He's an event monster. In the last event, he offers magical attack and physical defense. So that just gives you kind of like a basic idea of what you want to look for. Obviously, if you are a soldier, a lancer, archer, archers are a little different. You kind of want to have a mix between the two, physical attack and magical attack. But if you're straight soldier or lancer, you just want to have straight physical attack. So a monster like Hagitsuchi or Ares or Apollo is going to be really, really good. Now, don't just obviously equip damage monsters, because Apollo is another one of those monsters that don't offer any kind of utility whatsoever. He's just straight damage, and his ability hits 3 times but also has a chance to miss, so he can miss all 3 times. That's basically a wasted Unison. Nobody likes a wasted Unison. So do yourselves a favor, try to get a lot of utility in there. Your guild mates are going to love you for it, and it just makes you an all-around better person to quest with. So that just kind of gives you guys a basic idea of cost allotment and what you should equip for what class. Remember, if you're early on in the game, you definitely want to pump more cost into your weapons in the beginning, and then, like I said, later definitely put more into monsters, because in the beginning of the game you're not going to really have a lot of monsters to equip. You're going to have more super rare monsters that you get from quest drops, and monsters really don't come into play until you start getting to a little bit of a higher level and join a guild that is really ranked highly in guild battles, and that's when monsters are really going to start coming into play. But like I said, you want to have 6, 4, 4, 6. That's going to be your end game. That's what you're going to want. That's the gold standard. Obviously, don't pay attention to me because I messed up. Like I said in the beginning, I'm in the midst of actually working out my cost right now. It's going to take a lot of gems, but I will do it eventually. So guys, that's going to do it for the video. Please like and subscribe. Comment down below if you have any questions or any feedback for me. Like I said, I appreciate all your support. And until the next video, I'll see you guys later.